A patient with known Addison's disease comes in with profound hypotension, severe weakness, and altered mental status. So you start IV fluids, but the blood pressure doesn't improve. At that point, you have to stop and ask, what are we missing? Well, this is Addisonian crisis. And if you don't immediately recognize it and give steroids, well, this patient can deteriorate fast and potentially die. So in this simple nursing video, we're going to break down exactly what's happening, how to recognize it quickly, and what you need to do right now to save your patient. So let's get into it. An Addisonian crisis happens when a patient with adrenal insufficiency experiences a major physical stress and their body can't respond. Well, why is this? Because without cortisol, the body loses its ability to handle stress. So some common triggers include infection or sepsis. This is the most common trigger. I'd be sure to write that down. Surgery or trauma, missed steroid dose. Even one missed steroid dose can precipitate a crisis in a brittle patient. Even vomiting or diarrhea prevents oral medication absorption. Also, acute illness, even a severe flu or a GI bug, and adrenal hemorrhage in a previously undiagnosed patient. This is what's known as Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome. Any patient with known Addisons who is ill or injured needs immediate assessment for crisis, and don't wait for labs. The presentation of Addisonian crisis is sudden, severe, and affects multiple systems. You'll see profound hypotension, that low blood pressure, and this is the key critical clue. It does not respond to IV fluids. There's also severe weakness and fatigue. The patient may barely be able to move. GI symptoms are common, so we see nausea and vomiting and severe abdominal pain, which can even mimic an acute abdomen. You may also see high fever along with altered mental status, like confusion or lethargy. And then there's some classic lab patterns, that hyponatremia, that low sodium, hyperkalemia, high potassium, and hypoglycemia, that low blood sugar. And that's the Addisonian's electrolyte triad. Now here's your NCLEX differentiator. Septic shock and Addisonian crisis can look almost identical. So how do you tell the difference? Well, look for clues. A known history of Addison's disease or long-term steroid use, hypotension that does not respond to IV fluids, I'd be sure to write that one down, the combination of hyperkalemia and hyponatremia, basically high potassium and low sodium, and hypoglycemia, that low sugar. Remember, IV fluids aren't working, so think cortisol. All right, now let's talk about emergency management priorities. And trust me, the order matters here. So first is IV hydrocortisone, 100 milligrams IV bolus. This is your priority intervention. So again, I'd be sure to write that down. If the patient is crashing, you give this immediately, even before confirming labs. Why? Well, because cortisol is what they're missing here, and without it, nothing else will work. Number 2 is IV normal saline, 0.9% with dextrose. This helps to treat the hypotension, that low blood pressure, hyponatremia, and hypoglycemia all at the same time. Number 3 is to monitor electrolytes closely. As cortisol and those aldosterone effects are restored, potassium levels should begin to normalize. Number 4 is to identify and treat the precipitating cause. Was it an infection? Was it surgery? Maybe missed steroid doses? You need to address what triggered the crisis. And lastly, number 5, continuous vital sign and neurological monitoring. The patient can deteriorate very quickly, so close monitoring is essential. Now here's your NCLEX takeaway. The question will often try to distract you with hypotension, that low blood pressure. But fluids alone are not enough. If cortisol isn't replaced, the blood pressure will not improve. So when you see an unstable patient not responding to fluids, the correct answer is IV hydrocortisone. Be sure to write that down. IV hydrocortisone. All right, now let's talk about prevention, because this is where you can truly save lives. Patients should wear a medical alert bracelet at all times that clearly states adrenal insufficiency needs hydrocortisone in emergency. This ensures they receive the correct treatment even if they can't communicate. They should also have an emergency injectable hydrocortisone kit at home, and both the patient and their family need to be trained on how to use it. Trust me, in an emergency, this can be life-saving before they even reach the hospital. Next are sick day rules. With any illness, patients need to double or even triple their usual steroid dose. And if they're vomiting and can't keep medication down, they need to go to the ER immediately. And finally, preoperative communication is critical. So before any surgery or procedure, the patient must inform the healthcare team about their Addison's diagnosis so they can receive stress dose steroids and prevent a crisis. This is one of those conditions where education is everything, because the right action at the right time can prevent a life-threatening emergency. All right, now let's wrap this up. An Addisonian crisis is triggered by a physical stressor and presents with refractory hypotension, along with the classic electrolyte triad: low sodium, high potassium, and low glucose. And the most important treatment priority? That's right, you guessed it. IV hydrocortisone first, not just fluids. Because without cortisol, the body can't respond. The patient just won't stabilize. And remember, prevention through patient education can be life-saving. So let's shift to the opposite end of the spectrum. On your screen right now is the next video in the series, Cushing's syndrome, where cortisol never turns off. So go watch that next. And if you want more high-yield breakdowns, visual memory tricks, and a free trial to test yourself, check out simplenursing.com. Use the link on your screen. I'll see you guys in the next video.